woe is me, I can't play Skyward Sword right now, my batteries just ran out, and I forgot to recharge my spares, so basically I have no batteries to play with, and yeah, I guess I could use regular non-rechargeable AA batteries, but do you have any idea how much a Wiimote drains those things? I remember when I first got my Wii and I tried using a few of those regular AA batteries that weren't rechargeable, and oh my god, it was going through them so fast. If you use a wireless controller of any kind, you need rechargeable batteries. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Though I guess I could rant on Skyward Sword a bit, even though this has nothing to do with Pokémon, because I know I'm in for a shitstorm of comments asking me about the game if I don't say a word about it. So here you go. I guess there's really not much to say that hasn't been said already. I wasn't too sure, when I saw all those 10 out of 10 reviews. I wasn't sure if it could live up to previous titles, but wow, I am really blown away by the way the game was designed in general. It's a lot more puzzle-heavy than previous titles, and those puzzles aren't easy foregone conclusions either. It's not like, there's an eye switch, I'm gonna throw an arrow at it. No, it's a lot more complicated. And speaking of eyes, fun little story. I actually got stuck in the second room of the first dungeon. You know the one where it's a circular room with like this pedestal in the center, and there's an eye sentry guarding a door, and I was trying like a madman to find a way to hit it. Skyward Strike didn't work because the eye closed whenever the blow whenever the blow was coming close. I tried the jump attack. I tried everything, and I just couldn't figure out. So, I just started goofing around, I started waving my Wiimote randomly, and it actually worked! That's how you're supposed to solve the puzzle, by making the eye ditsy. Way to destroy 25 years of conventions in Zelda games, because usually when you see an eye in a Zelda game, as I'm going to pass up on Nightmare, even in-game it's just not very good. Dream Eater at least gives you pretty good HP recovery, and competitively, well, it's completely wrecked by the sleep clause anyway. But yeah, in previous Zelda titles, whenever you saw an eye, it meant only one thing: attack! But unfortunately, this wasn't the case here, and I look like an absolute moron trying to figure out a puzzle that, in retrospect, I should have been able to figure out. It's only because I'd played so much Zelda before that my first reflex was to try and shoot at it. Of course, I tried the slingshot. I tried everything I could to try and attack it, and didn't work. Now I just had to make it dizzy. So when I came across similar puzzles later on in the dungeon that had 2 and 3 eyes that you had to deactivate at the same time, at least I knew what to do. But yeah, and speaking of puzzles, another interesting thing is that well, if you know only one thing about the game, it's likely to be that swinging your sword around like a madman isn't so effective anymore, especially not against Technoblins. I hate those bastards so very much. But yeah, it's actually pretty cool how you actually have to use some strategy in order to defeat many enemies. Of course, stuff like keys and choo-choos, there are no real problems. But anything, even Bokoblins are a lot more difficult to deal with, since they're going to block your attacks with their own weapons. And yeah, you really got to be sharp to be able to defeat most enemies. I had a lot of problems with Skulltulas in the first dungeon. What I did once I got the beetle, I absolutely love the beetle, by the way. Amazing. Probably managed to top the hook shot and claw shot and double claw shots as my favorite Zelda item to date in just, one game. It's just so cool how you can use it to scout out things that are further ahead. But yeah, what I meant to say was that what I did for Skulltulas was that I used the beetle to sever the webs that were keeping it attached to the ceiling, and then I'd use whatever the ending blow is called in this game. I call it the ending blow because that's how it was called in Twilight Princess. But anyway, and it was only later on that I learned that what I was really supposed to do against Skulltulas that were on the ground was that you had to flip them over using an upward slash and then use the finishing blow. So, yeah, it just goes to say that things that you might have taken for granted in other games aren't so easy anymore. And another thing I like about the game is how they got, tributes to various previous games in the series. I think the most obvious one is the side quest involving the hand in the toilet, which returns from Majora's Mask. And, oh, come on, I just want to talk to this guy. Okay, thank you. This is one of those annoying things about sloped areas like this, is that if you're trying to talk to someone, good luck. And great, just wonderful. I walked right into a double battle I didn't want to do, but oh well, doesn't really matter. But yeah, as I was about to say, that the thing with the hand from the toilet in Majora's Mask, it returns in Skyward Sword, and it's even better because in Majora's Mask, you just give that hand your title deed, and whoever's in there wipes with it, and then it's over, and you get a piece of heart. But actually, it's part of a branching side quest where you can do it two different ways, but obtain the same reward for both. So don't worry about it. You're going to recognize that side quest whenever it shows up. But yeah, don't panic. There are no lost forevers. No lost forevers in this game that I know of. Whichever way you do that side quest, you're going to obtain the same reward at the end. But yeah, if you choose the path with the disembodied hand, it's just absolutely amazing. I'm not gonna spoil how it goes, but seriously, that was the highlight of the game so far for me. And as I was saying, there are also other references to previous Zelda games. This is most apparent in the Earth Temple, where you remember that mini-boss fight against the Lizalfos in Dodongo's Cavern? Well, they actually went and did the exact same thing in the Skyward Sword in the Earth Temple. With all the platforms that are circled around one main platform, and the Lizalfos come at you separately. Well, it's exactly how it works, except now the Lizalfos are a bit harder to deal with because they can use their shields to deflect your attacks. But, yeah, and the boss of the Earth Temple is also a big throwback to King Dodongo, because I wouldn't say it's the exact same thing, but it's certainly very similar. But, unfortunately, another thing the Earth Temple shares with Dodongo's Cavern is the length. I guess anyone who goes into that dungeon knowing what to do will find it maybe not as short as Dodongo's Cavern, but pretty close. And that is not a good thing, if you ask me, especially considering how all those other dungeons are a lot longer. Especially, I'm doing the sand ship right now, and it certainly looked very small, but you're quickly going to realize how convoluted it actually is once you make some headway into it. And one thing that I guess I should mention, though, because it's been on everybody's mind since day one. The controls. I wouldn't say they are flawless. They are pretty good, I guess, but flawless, probably not. And this comes from the fact that they mapped so many different moves to the motion controls. For example, well, the big problem that I've had personally, I don't know if it's the case for any of you, but let's say I'm trying to do a horizontal spin attack. And well, I shake both the Wiimote and the nunchuck horizontally, and sometimes I'm going to end up doing either a shield attack or a vertical spin attack, which in pretty much all cases is going to be much less useful than the horizontal one. And then sometimes I'm going to do some sword slashes in directions that I didn't really intend to. I wouldn't say this tends to happen a lot against Technoblins, but certainly it makes things a lot harder against those guys, definitely. But, overall, I think it's more because of the nature of motion controls rather than, the controls for the game being bad. I have a hard time imagining that the controls could have been much more accurate than that. Probably, it might just be that I'm the problem, I am a horribly uncoordinated klutz. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if I were the problem. And speaking of problems, I have 3 minutes left, and I am going to get so much mail about it if I don't mention this today, I guess. Oh god, I guess you've all seen the results of the voting for the Global Link Pokemon Reward. This is just depressing. Mudkipz is now second, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if it actually ended up winning this. So, our fate is actually in the hands of the little kitties who vote spam for Arceus. Because, let's face it, Ditto ain't coming back, but I would still like to get something interesting from that giveaway, instead of, a damp Swampert? A damn Swampert that has no value at all! At least with Torrent, every once in a while, you're gonna get a boost on your water moves, but with Damp? Really? Nobody uses Explosion anymore! It's been nerfed to hell and back! Well, maybe some Pokemon still use it, but still much, much less used than in the first 4 generations, that's for sure, so Damp is just completely useless. So, I'm scared, really scared. If you're still up for vote spamming or whatever, I strongly suggest that we shift our focus over to Arceus. Yeah, it's time to cut our losses. There are simply no other words to describe the situation right now. I've been told that this whole surge actually came from a site called Funny Junk, which is sort of surprising considering the Mudkip thing was never funny to begin with, unless you're brain damaged, but then again, we all know brain damaged people can move on to actually do something, just ask Wheatley. So now, I think I'm not gonna have the time to fight another trainer, at least I'm not sure I could. Okay, he wants my phone number, so screw that, not happening. Yeah, I'm still bound by the time limit for those people who keep asking me why I'm not making any videos longer than 15 minutes. Copyright reasons, I believe. So, I guess I'll see you next time when I complete this area.